Greetings and good day, family. Of course, we're back again for the final installment of our Father's Day 2024 tribute. It's been an amazing time, some incredible conversations, and I'm so excited, that although we are 5 weeks removed from Mother's Day and I don't see any red corsages, I didn't hear Shirley Caesar, Mama, I love you this morning. I heard nothing about none of that stuff, no charge, nothing. All I heard this morning was Papa was a Rolling Stone. But grateful at Hope TV and Hospital of Atlanta, we wanted to make sure that we give the same type of sentimentality to Father's Day, because without fathers, if you're grandfather, godfather, uncle, surrogate father, foster father, if you're in some type of father role, we honor you on the day and want you to know that you're valued. And to that end, we're excited to have with us a man of God who is a father and has an amazing story, and somebody that we love and respect, Minister Greg Kirkland. Welcome, sir.
Bless you, sir. Glad to be here. I appreciate it.
How you doing?
I am great. I am doing very well, thank you.
Glad to have you here. You got such a wide and broad story. I think you got so much insight.
Thank you.
That I can see you, sharing with the world. One of the things I think is beautiful about your story, you're Greg Kirkland Jr.
Okay.
And when I have observed some of the things you've been doing, whether it was the Freed picture that we brought to the theater, whether it's the Vibe celebration that you were part of that honored me a few weeks ago, your dad was right there.
Absolutely.
As your road dog, your sidekick, a musician.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about the impact that, because it's something we haven't gotten into with our previous tributers,
Okay.
Those who've given tribute. Talk about the relationship and the role that your dad, Greg Kirkland Sr., has played in your life.
My dad is the ultimate jokester. He is the ultimate supporter. And he has just always been there. He plays bass guitar still to this day. Had a huge band in New York called Fuchsia. Fuchsia.
Okay.
And they were probably the epitome of a corporate band.
Wow.
They played for everybody. They played for Jesse Jackson's events. They played for when Mike Tyson and Robin Givens got married. They played for the reception.
Wow.
They just, any event, they called Fuchsia. And so I recall being in rehearsals, sitting on my dad's lap while he would play, and I'd be there and just kind of picking up on things, picking up on the way that he would do things. They called him G-Man. And so even fast forward, maybe about, I would say now it's been about 20 years ago when I left the group I was singing with called The Five Young Men.
Right.
Decided to step out and start my own solo singing career. Or my father decided that he would start a record label.
Wow.
Called Like Father, Like Son Records.
Wow.
And so I recorded 2 CDs on that label. My dad independently funded the recording process, the mixing process, the artwork process, the pressing process, the release process, the radio process. And he just got behind it. Of course, my mom always said, well, what about me?
Right.
But okay, the two of them together.
It's Father's Day, Mom. Chill.
But my dad really, I'll never forget one day I said to him, I know in a typical record industry, they do what's called recoupables, where they make sure that they make their money back and things of that sort. And I said, I'm not sure if I have lived up to the recoupable part of things. And he told me, he said, well, listen, you didn't go to college, which I didn't. He said, you didn't go to college. He said, and had you gone to college, I would have put you through college.
Wow.
He said, but since you didn't go to college, I see your passion. I see what it is that you want to do. So this is still my way of investing in your future.
Wow.
And so that was the foundation of Like Father, Like Son. Now here we are. I have the Sea Choir. I needed a band. We're the Sea Choir and band. So my dad plays bass.
Wow.
For my band. We've been to Mexico. We've been to Wyoming. We play for all types of events at any place you can think of. We've been in, and my dad's right there.
That's amazing. How is his role in your life? How has that impacted you as a father?
Tremendously, because one thing that I always can say, I tell this story a lot. One of the fondest memories I have of my dad is that, by him being a musician, by him working also a 9-to-5 in New York. I was born in Brooklyn, and I remember he would be out. He would be working, then he would go straight to rehearsals and things of that sort. The thing that I remember most about my dad is that he might get in late. He might get in, after we had gone to bed or might be getting ready to go to bed. He never came home empty-handed. My dad never came home empty-handed. Whether it was something for us, whether it was something for my mom, if he bought her favorite bag of chips, if he bought us a bag of candy, my dad always came in. He never came home empty-handed.
Wow.
And that has always stayed with me because it wasn't his way of trying to overcompensate. It was just his heart.
My God.
So, now as a father, I try to, when I'm on my way home, I call, hey, what you need? What can I bring home? Or I won't even call. I'll just stop, grab something, bring it in the house. So that when I get in the house, it's my way of saying I'm home and I've thought about y'all before I got here.
Man, that's what a beautiful,
thank you,
beautiful story. So when you think about where you are musically, that has impacted, your life.
Yes.
And do you look for those things in your children? I know your baby girl just graduated high school.
Right.
And we've had some conversations. So as you picked up those musical, because I think you're probably the most musical of your father's kids.
Yes,
of your kids,
absolutely.
Right? Your brothers, they were athletes.
They got the athletic gene.
Right.
I didn't get that.
Right.
You don't want me on the court or the field. Don't you worry about it. The closest I'm gonna get to the field or the court is the national anthem. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, but I noticed, with your children, particularly with your girls, by them being older, and with the boys as well, have you begun to see their personality or some of their interests, and how do you go about trying to help develop those things in the way your dad did?
Absolutely.
Your musical interests.
Absolutely. Ironically, with my girls, I'm divorced, remarried.
Right.
So when I was with their mom is and was a dancer. So they took to that. They took on the dancing and the cheer and the, that type of thing. They didn't necessarily take to the musical side of things. My younger daughter, Kyla, she sang in the chorus and things like, so my oldest daughter, Kirsten, she never wanted to sing. She never wanted to do anything. So I kind of made sure that I encouraged the dancing part of that. And now my youngest daughter's getting ready to major in film and editing. So that's a part of me as well.
Right.
But in my boys, I'm remarried. My wife, she sings like a bird.
Right.
The two of us sing. We both sing high. So I'm noticing that in the boys.
Wow.
I'm noticing I just kind of, I don't push.
Right.
I just kind of sit back and watch and see. So I noticed that Carter has more of the desire. I think he's going to play.
Wow.
Cooper is going to have the voice.
Wow.
I listen to him sing. I listen to him around the house. I listen to him when he hears music. He picks it up quickly, and he knows the melody. He's able to, sometimes Leslie will sing something to him. He'll sing it back. So it's that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be in them, in my boys, which I need them because I need them to take this thing over because I'm tired. But I really think it's going to be in them.
That's great. That's great. When you said something earlier, that's very, very powerful. I think it's beautiful. When Kirsten and Kyla, coming from your first marriage and the boys coming from you and Leslie, there's that whole blended family kind of concept.
Yes, sir.
How have you seen all the girls gravitate or be integrated with the boys? And for those who may be watching, those stories, there are a lot of horror stories.
Absolutely.
When you're trying to blend it in
Absolutely.
for whatever reason. So,
absolutely.
What are some tools or some tips that you could give to people who are in a blended family trying to develop it?
Sure.
And how, if you had challenges in that regard?
Absolutely. One of the things that I will say is that I allowed my girls to have a voice.
Wow.
I allowed them to share when something made them happy. I allowed them to share when something made them unhappy.
Wow.
Because I felt like it was unfair to them for me to say, this is it, accept it, this is life, it is what it is, your mom and I are not together. I never wanted to take that approach.
Right.
I tried to allow my daughters to have a voice and express themselves to the point where I can honestly say that my relationship with them grew stronger post-divorce.
Wow.
because I just allowed them that space to be honest with me, and vice versa. We have an honest relationship in that they have their own relationship with Leslie. It happened organically. We didn't force it. We didn't make it be something. And that had ebbs and flows, but over time, it just really became something beautiful. And so because they have their own relationship with Leslie, then they fell in love with the byproduct of Leslie and I.
Wow.
So my daughters were able to love the idea of having siblings because they fell in love with the idea of Leslie and I.
Wow.
Wow. So that whole thing, it's just, I'm blessed. I'm favored to have a wife that understood the concept of marrying me and my children.
Yes.
And I have to give credit to her completely, to the point where it birthed something in her, which initiated as something called the Bonus Club.
Yes, sir.
Where she never wanted to use the term step. No stepchildren, no stepmom, no stepbrother, no nothing. She said, I'm their bonus mom.
Wow.
They're my bonus daughters. And as far as brothers and sisters, that's just it. They brothers and sisters.
Right.
And that's all. Now, Leslie has even grown to begin a podcast.
Wow.
That she will be launching very soon. I don't want to speak too quickly, but it's coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. But just speaking of the process of blending and the process of the importance of healthy blending and how you facilitate that throughout the years so that everybody feels like they were included in the process.
Wow.
And that's my biggest
we laugh now because you have a daughter who's about to be a junior.
Yes, sir.
In college.
Yeah.
And on the other end, you got a 4-year-old.
God help. I always say I don't know what I was thinking, but I do know what I was thinking.
So how has that stretched you as a man, as a father, with someone whose life is incredibly busy and involved?
Yes, sir.
How do you navigate having now 2 daughters in college?
Yes.
And a 4-year-old at the same time?
What's interesting is, and not to be deep, but what's interesting is, I always knew I would have 4 children.
Wow.
I always knew I would have 2 girls and 2 boys.
Wow. Always.
Always.
Wow.
Always. When Rochelle was pregnant with Kirsten, I had a dream about 2 boys, and that's how I knew that I would have 2 girls back to back. Later on, when Leslie was pregnant, I knew it would be the 2 boys.
Wow.
Knew it, without a doubt, without a question.
Wow.
I didn't know it was going to be 11 years in between. That part. That part I didn't get.
Bingo.
That part I didn't get. But they keep me young.
Yep.
My boys have an energy. Listen, this is me. Sit down. This is me at home. Get out. Just listen. I'm tired.
I've heard a few conversations.
Listen to me. Yeah. But I wouldn't trade it.
Indeed.
I wouldn't trade it because I can see me in them. I see me in all 4.
Right.
But in my boys, I can see me in them. And I understand now what it means for a father to have a son.
That's beautiful.
I understand that. Now Cooper, my youngest, he's 4. Now, if we had had him first, he would have been the only child. But listen, he's a pandemic baby. They different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, they do stuff different. But they both have personality. They both have character. They both have just an energy that's unexplainable. And so I just sit back and watch them, and I see pieces of me growing up. And I watch the way they love their mom. I watch the way they take care of her, the way they gravitate to her. I have to fight with them all the time to say, hey, that was my wife before it was your mom.
Right.
But it's a wonderful thing.
That's beautiful. Just a couple more questions. One, I think it's very important because the stories is so captivating and so motivational. But for people, and this could go for men and women, for those persons, because 70% of the kids in our community will live in a blended family.
Yes, sir.
If they're gonna have two parents in the house, we blended family over 70%. So, what kind of qualities should a man or woman with children from a previous relationship look for in the spouse? Someone they have their eye on them. You know, they feel them in certain ways,
yes.
but that is an issue.
Yes.
What qualities should you look for?
You have to, one, of course, look for a person that's going to be open. That's first and foremost. You have to have the necessary conversations with a person to know what type of parent they will be to their own children.
Wow.
What type of values, what kind of values they grew up in.
That's good.
Because, you know, they will be, in essence, taking on someone else's child, right? So because of that, you know, in being able to see, okay, what are your values what do you see for yourself with your own children? Yeah. How do you see yourself rearing them? What are the values that you see yourself instilling in them? Because here are the values that I have already begun instilling in the ones that I already have.
That's good.
Do we agree? Do you agree with what I'm already doing?
Wow. Wow.
You know, and then in that, then you start to have the conversations of, well, what will happen are you prepared for the ex? You know, Leslie says a lot of times, you know, I married you, I married your children, and I married your ex-wife.
Wow. Wow.
You know, because
package deal.
It's a package.
Wow.
It's a package deal. So do you have a person that is open to recognizing that I am also going to have to deal with someone that was a part of your former life?
Wow.
You know, so openness is really the best word I can use, because they're going to have to be open to a laundry list of things, and be willing to communicate. Also, I'll say this as the last thing, they also have to have the ability to trust you as the biological parent of the children that are coming into place as well.
That's good
as well. Because, you know, Leslie and I, over the years, there were moments where she wanted to rise up and she wanted to say, I don't like the way this is happening, and I don't like the way you're being treated, and I don't like the way this is going, and no shade. I'm not trying to do that at all.
Right.
But, you know, there was a thing that would rise up in her. She was my wife. She was my, you know.
She's protecting you.
Exactly. That's all it was, you know, protecting me. And there were times where I had to say to her, I understand how you feel, but you're going to have to let me handle it.
Right.
Because I also know the temperament of,
right,
you're going to have to trust that I know the timing. You're going to have to trust that I know the best way to say something, the best way to approach something in order to get the best result.
Absolutely.
So there's a trust, there's a selflessness that has to come from the person that is coming into a blended situation, because there are going to be some moments where they're going to feel like their voice is stifled, like they can't speak up, like they can't, and that's one of the hardships of the whole process.
Wow.
You know, being able to allow everybody to be expressive to you, you know, because I was the middleman.
Right.
I had to hear from my children. I had to hear from my wife. I had to hear from my ex-wife.
Wow.
And I had to filter all of that.
My God.
So, you know, just being, I would say, if you're looking at being with someone else and they're coming into your situation, you already have children, they have to be open, they have to be trusting, and they have to be selfless.
Wow. That's absolutely powerful. You know, this is just, I mean, because I think so many people have questions and trying to figure it out. And what I love about your life, people look at your life and they see, just because you're always smiling and everything always is together and organized, but you shared it hasn't been perfect.
Yes, sir. No, not at all.
You know what I mean? And you having to deal with that and navigate through it, and it all works out for you. Are there any parting words you want to share with any for blended families or fathers or husbands, or anything you want to say in closing?
You know, I'll just say, hang in there. because, you know, I've been seeing on social media, they have this thing where, you know, there's no greater conversation than a husband and a wife trying to explain who's more tired.
Wow.
Because the minute that I say I'm tired, your spouse is going to say, "Are you tired? I've been doing this, I've been doing it." You know, so they run down, you know. But at the end of the day, we'll never discredit moms and women and wives and all that they do to manage us, and to keep us, you know, and to keep our families together and our households together. It can never be discredited. But at the end of the day, there is a pressure that falls on a father, a husband, and a man that can never be truly communicated and articulated.
That's the truth.
It never. Most of the time you ask a man, "What you thinking? What's wrong?" They're going to say nothing. When in all actuality, we have the world on our shoulders. Hang in there.
Yeah.
You're doing better than you think you're doing.
Wow.
Everything might not be perfect, but thank God it's as well as it is. Just hang in there. Keep pressing, keep working, keep doing what you're doing, keep praying, keep persevering. Your wife is paying attention, your children are paying attention. People see what you're doing. They might not say it, but hang in there. You're doing a great job.
Wow, listen, that was absolutely powerful. And I'm just excited, you know, that we were able to do something that it was powerful and inspirational. That's going to live forever. And so all the inspirational vitamins that you heard today and through this Father's Day tribute series, it's been absolutely amazing. And I want to thank Minister Greg Kirkland for being a part and sharing just so transparently, practically, and yet powerfully. And I know you were inspired, and I want you to get this message and share it and keep listening to it over and over again. And again, happy Father's Day to all fathers. We were determined this year that we would not be an afterthought.
That's right.
And so Mother's Day was last month. This is Father's Day in June. So we're not talking about y'all today.
That's right.
Y'all had y'all's time. So hope you enjoyed yourself, men. And so as you get ready to go out and this afternoon or this time for Father's Day and cook your own hot dogs on the grill, may this little light inspire you and encourage you. So we're happy for you. We congratulate you and know that you are valued and that we love you. And so on behalf of our church to you, happy Father's Day. We love you. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Happy Father's Day.
Good day, and again, happy Father's Day to all fathers, and Godspeed to everybody who's watching today. It's been just an amazing time. Again, we're excited today because, you know, last month as we celebrated Mother's Day, we were singing Shirley Caesar's song, No Charge. We were singing Boys to Men, Mama, You Know I Love You. Well, sometimes on Father's Day, we don't have that same level of connection or emotional attachment. But there are those of us who do, because we have some great, great men. And I'm excited today to have the opportunity to have a conversation that's very, very important. As we know, many of us know, over 70% of the children in the African-American community who have a mother and father in the house, they're in blended households. And so we don't talk a lot about blended family. But today I'm excited to have with us a brother who's going to come, who I believe is a great paradigm and gives us some great insight on just what it means to be in a blended family, as sometimes we call it a stepfather. And so I want to welcome Brother Crittenton today. How you doing?